Hello there everybody and welcome back to another video, and as you've seen for the title, this is the work that I've done to a Triang Hornby coach to improve it and to bring up to somewhat modern standards. So let's get into it. So I bought this coach for £5.50, which I don't think is a terrible price for one of these, especially nowadays. It was from a collectible shop, so you're not too sure how it got there. This has been repainted once, I suspect twice if I'm honest. But it's in decent external condition, considering I think it's one of the original runs from the early 60s. So all in all, it's a decent model to start with. Now, my intention for this model is to detail it up without spending any money at all. And I want to create two coaches in one. I want to create a light railway coach. I can use a Heapton Colliery light railway for my new Lonesome Street layout, which there's a link to on screen now if you want to see my layout update on that. It's built in 2 box tiles. The other side is for the same layout. I want to create a pre-grouping design that's being used by the LMS, eking out an existence, just running along an old branch line that will undoubtedly be closed at some point. So that was what I wanted from this model. So I wanted to create 2 coaches in one, telling 2 different stories, as well as not spending any more money than £5.50. So, how did I do it? The first thing that I did was I cleaned the model down using an old toothbrush and lots of hot sleepy water. I did this for 2 reasons. Number 1, it helps you to get a better understanding of the model itself, and any grime and whatever's on it and oils on it come off with the right sort of soaps. The other thing is it smelled absolutely disgusting. It smelled like cigarettes, but like really cheap menthol ones. So I decided I'd clean it out for my sake and for the sake of it becoming a fairly detailed model in the future. You can see I've broken it down into the parts of the body itself and the bogies, and I'm just scrubbing them down using an old toothbrush, like I say, and some hand gel. I think it's just Morrison's own. I found it works quite well and lifts the grease and dirt and oils and smells quite well. You can see here, just washing them out. The important thing is to wash it, coat it in the gel, and then wash it all off again, like I'm doing now. I then put it in some Dettol to try and lift some of the repainted paint from it so I could get to the original plastic. It worked quite well, although it did reveal quite a pitted model, which I wasn't quite expecting. I added staples for handrails to the model itself, including the roof and sides of the model. We'll see them later. I then sprayed it into a maroon. I then added some chains to the underside and then proceeded to glue that underside detailing to the model again. Now, I also added metal wheels at this point. You can see here I've also painted the ends and painted parts of the model, and I'm going on to weather it using a mix of soot and dark earth weathering powders. Here I'm adding glazing to the top part, the Clerestory part of the coach, and I've done this to the sides as well. Here I'm painting the roof up in a mix of a weathered grey I'm hoping to make using some Tamiya and acrylic paints, just to give a little bit of tonal variation to what is a very pitted roof. I was trying to lean into that look of it being old, and I think it's worked quite well, resulting in this model here. So, as I discussed, I wanted this model to have 2 different sides. This side is the colliery side. It lacks any numbering or anything like that. It's also had parts of the woodwork painted black. Spinning around to the other side, you can see this is the LMS side. So it's got some numbering and some writing on the sides, actually taken from a Dapol Park Royal Rail Buzz. I've also painted the ends as well, so we can begin to see the 2 sides are different. Not only is it missing lettering, it's also more heavily weathered on this side. You can see here that the glazing has been improved using PVA. I've done that on both sides, and I've also added wood coloured to a couple of the window surrounds that I've seen on a couple of GWR designs. You can see there's less picked out in black on the LMS side, whereas on the light railway side there is significantly more. Again, that's just to differentiate the sides a little bit and to make it a little bit more interesting as a model. So I thought, what better way to finish this video than to have it doing some coachy things, which I don't think I've ever had on my channel before. Anyway, Here it is being pulled into Lonesome Street Station using a Heapton Colliery Light Railway Ruston. You can see this is the LMS side, it's got its numbering, it's a little bit cleaner than the other side, but it's still clearly unloved and unkept. Chances are it's going to be kept outside. Now coming into the station is the Heapton Colliery Light Railway side. This is in even worse condition. It's ancient, it's battered, it also isn't kept under covers, but you can see it's still being used to pick passengers up from Lonesome Street Station and taken down into the town itself. So, if you've enjoyed this video, let me know. If there's any ways I can improve this video or the model itself, let me know. And I will see you very soon for another video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Ta-da!